like that.
Welcome to GreenZone Live. Um, as always, brought to you by myself, Chris, Dave, the Ginger Ninja, and what was it, Wish Phoebe Schechter we used to call you? Chrissy McKee.
And it wasn't we. It wasn't we. There was one person.
Yes, there was one.
Yes.
As always, the views and opinions in this show do not reflect that of the AFI in any way, shape, or form. So all the shit we're about to say in the next hour and a half is our own. So it's been some week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been a week.
Drama
So
film
many
week that
gates.
didn't include us.
Yes, there are so many goddamn gates. Where to start? So from last week, the Panthers are no longer going to the playoffs. There was two ineligible players from Trinity, or was it just the one?
I think it was two.
So for those who don't know the crack with this, Trinity, of course, folded, and we had
Again.
Well,
Again.
I don't think they'll be back this time. I think Trinity are good. But they gone. Trinity player decided, you know what, I want to play ball, which is fair. Went and wanted to play with the Panthers. Didn't follow the registration stuff in the right way. And then unfortunately they got fielded and it all kind of went to shit after the fact. So Dave, Chrissy, did they deserve it? Did they deserve to have it taken away?
Chrissy looks like she's about to say something, so I'm gonna.
Yeah. Sorry, Owen.
You're good.
But if you're going to field players and you as a team don't ensure that these players have transferred correctly, then it's on the team. You can't turn around and trust that players are going to say, oh I put the transfer in, just waiting for it to go through. Like, it should be, well, it's because especially whenever a transfer goes through, clubs get emails about it. So I don't get how it wasn't known that the transfer hadn't been put through properly, but I am going to put a lot of that on the players that did transfer, that tried to just kind of just talk their way through it and get onto a field. It is it is unfortunate, but if the league are going to enforce bylaws, they have to enforce bylaws.
Yeah, like I don't think the Panthers maybe would have got the result they had without the players that they fielded that day. Like, you look at what happened on Sunday past against Cork, where they kind of only ended up with something like 15 players. I don't think they necessarily were like, right, we don't care the transfer hasn't gone through, we're going to just pop them on. But I think maybe the players said, I think I've done it. And Aidan says he's going to look at it. So the club has just went, sweet, no worries, we'll play against the Trojans. But yeah, it's one of those annoying things. Like, being at Derrimore that day when they won, it was a bloody amazing victory regardless. But yeah, as Chrissy was saying, bylaws are bylaws, and if you haven't abided by them, abided. Is that why it's abided? I think that, like, you have to. Why am I so bad at metaphors? You have to. Why is my brain going? You have to take the salt with the medicine.
It's the COVID.
What the fuck is that? What am I talking about?
GreenZone.
You have to. If you feel an ineligible player, take your medicine, and you had to forfeit that game. And unfortunately, it was at a point in the season where it was literally a make or break for playoffs. But I agree with the league's decision, even though it is a bit all over the place. But at the end of the day, ineligible players played. Game over.
I will also say that from the rumblings I've heard, the player messaged Aidan saying, how do I transfer? And Aidan said, I'll sort the transfer out tomorrow, as in to say, if you put in the transfer, I will sort it out for you the next day to try and make sure this player was eligible to play in the Trojans game. From what I've heard is Aiden messaged him and asked, where's the transfer? It's not showing up on the system, and the player that I haven't put it through yet. That's the rumor I heard.
There's an element of an honest mistake, but it's not the league's responsibility to take you by the hand. And like, it's no like secret that I put in a transfer, and it's not easy. It's a pain. Like, the website is shocking. You have to like hoodwink it to find the team that you want, and then you accidentally fucking register for a different team, but that's a different story. But yeah, and when I put in my transfer, the advice was given was just don't play for this rest of the season. Just go to training. Next season will be there waiting for you. But you know what wasn't an honest mistake? Allegedly.
It wasn't a mistake. Allegedly.
Yes. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna throw up a allegedly disclaimer.
I was gonna say, okay.
Is this in the bar at the bottom? Or?
No, I think you were gonna. I thought you were gonna bring something up.
I'm bringing up the allegedly disclaimer.
Okay.
So yeah, what wasn't an honest mistake was, did anyone see the two BAFA/GB players lined up for the Giants over the weekend?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was waiting for someone in the comments to go, yes.
Yes. I think it's a bit behind.
Yeah.
So two GB national players, or at least one, GB national players, but two definite BAFA players.
Former as well. I don't.
Yeah.
From what I know, is they're not current squad members, but yeah, that magically appered for the first
hadn't
time.
Played a game all season. Show up in the playoffs.
And we'll say this, that whenever we were trying to figure all this out, we looked, or at least we got told by people in the league, that the bylaws for playoff games say that all players have to have played a minimum of 2 regular season games to be eligible for the playoff games, regardless of if they're registered. They have to play 2 regular season games. And I have never seen them.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing is, because here's the thing. We would know if there's 2 English fellas fucking balling out in Causeway.
Yeah.
You would just know.
You would know.
Everyone would be talking about where the fuck. It's like everyone says, the Rebels, important players, and the Giants have 2 GB nationals.
Yeah, because I was watching a certain stream by another certain podcast, and the first
name no names. Yep.
The first
we can give
touchdown. The first touchdown was suspiciously good. And that, like, the way the wideout was lining up and the wee jukes he was giving the corner, I was like, who is that? And like, where'd that ball come from? So yeah, I think from that it was suspicious. And then on the same stream from an unnamed podcast, there was some murmurs with the camera, and you could hear them kind of talking about these players and where they came from. And then
they're so great to have.
And then afterwards, there was some sources being like, where are they? Where did this come from?
Yeah. It definitely is interesting.
It is. Now, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, there is talk of like them, being registered from April, because they came down to watch. They were down watching the Trinity game. So they've been part of the Giants since April, but are only being fielded in a playoffs game, which, did the Giants really need to field 2 ringers from England?
No,
at least one of them played for London Blitz, which is a very solid team in BAFA.
Yeah, if I'm putting the tinfoil hat on, it is 100%. If we can get away with playing them in the playoffs, we're allowed to play them in the bowl. I don't think the Giants, and this is no disrespect to the Pirates, I don't think the Giants felt that they needed to play two batter ringers to beat the Pirates. But like, I'm not being a complete dick about this. I have reached out to both the Giants and the Pirates on this, and sort of like figuring out what the league's doing. There's nothing official from the league, so there's not. And yes, apparently the players were indeed registered, but ineligible due to the fact they didn't play any regular season games. And that's what's going on. So I don't know. I don't think the Pirates are going to the bowl. I would say the ball has been put in their court, and it's up to them to decide. But yeah, it's. You'll notice later on when we do bowl graphics, there ain't no graphic for this game because we didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Although, can I just point out, because we probably won't talk about the Pirates that much because we're not going to have anyone on from them, but the Pirates were good against the Giants. They just could not put the ball in the end zone. Like, I think I put a message in the Discord and it was fact. I think the Pirates were on the 5-yard line and had about 12 downs on the 5-yard line because of flags and stuff. So they were there for 8 minutes and didn't get any points.
Yeah.
Like, if they could get into the end zone, that game would have been a lot closer. So, like, Pirates actually came up and played a good game.
Well, that is the thing, because I'd originally asked Conan. Oh my goodness. Conan for stats, because I wanted to talk about the game, and then all of this kind of happened after. And it's like looking through, it's like, okay, there's a couple of names here I don't recognize, but the two Batha players were quarterback and one was a wide receiver. If we look at those points, there's 16 points that one or both of these ringers contributed to. You take that away and it's a tie game.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I hate the word ringer. I hate it. When you said it there in Susanna, I was like, there's something bad about it, and I don't know what it is. It just sounds like a real thing for some reason. These two ringers.
Yeah,
well, it's either that or it's purposefully played ineligible players.
Ineligible it's 100% purposely played ineligible.
Oh, I know, but ringers sounds better.
Is a ringer not what an Australian calls a ginger person? They won't watch like. No, Jonah from Tonga. I'm pretty sure they call ginger people ringers. So
that is a fun fact to learn.
So the Giants
maybe that's
the two gingers.
maybe that's where I'm getting stabbed with it here. But ineligible players is just way nicer. The rules up the tongue better. There's no harsh letters.
But it's still that point of it. The game, take away those 16 points. The game was tied.
Yeah, it was sketchy, dodgy, and dirty as fuck. To be perfectly honest, if it's true, you know,
alleged.
It's all alleged.
Alleged in the corner.
But like, what I really want to know. So we had like ineligible player gate for the Panthers. We've had this rumblings from the Giants. What is the league going to throw at us next? You know, like genuinely, what can the league
I want to say something so bad, but I know it won't be taken well.
I'm interested now. I'm hooked.
Yes.
Much like the viewers.
Mandatory pre-Shamrock Bowl drug testing.
Isn't it already a thing? I thought that was a thing.
Yeah, I think it's 2 from each team.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yes. This is going to be the next gate.
This is fucking. Yeah. You know what? Well, the allegedly disclaimers up there. So
that's why I said it. It's still up there.
Let's get ourselves back in the good books. So we had a 5 slate last weekend. We had the Rebels. We travelled up to Fortress Derrimore And his camera's off, but David, are you there, buddy? He is there.
Yes.
Give me a second. I need to take down the allegedly because what he says is the truth.
My camera is on. Oh wait, the other David. You could have
Hey!
specified
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Yeah,
you've
so
been
join
on
us
the whole
is
time.
yes, they're on the waiting room. We have a green room going on. It's great. David King from the Rebels. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm actually on my break from work, so.
This is
Okay,
dedication.
that's
This is
dedication. We'll
dedication.
not keep you too long then. So, how'd it go? How'd that 60-0 victory go for you? Did you enjoy that one?
Yeah, no, it was a good one. I feel like it was kind of probably for this season at least, our first game where everything just clicked. Probably the best. Like if we go back, like Cork was pretty good, but I actually think the way the offense ran and how the defense complemented it was by far the best we've had actually all season. I also probably don't think the Trojans gave themselves a fair representation of actually how good they are. So I'm kind of expecting this week for them to maybe show something a bit different.
Yeah, it's. I think it's hard to not see it go any way but one way this weekend. You know, coming to the Trojans' doorstep and doing the dirty on them, like you know, unless there's some serious mind games going on from Phil Gunning, it's going to need to be something absolutely spectacular on Sunday.
Yeah, but I guess any team can beat any team, and that's kind of what we have to think as well. You know, like we definitely can't think it's like a foregone conclusion. You know, we have a saying in the Rebels that like it's just like it's all just a step like to the end goal. So for us, like this is just step 9 now this week, and we can't really treat it any differently than we treated last week, just because we beat them by 60 odd points or whatever. But it's really hard to play a team 2 weeks in a row, because like it's all so fresh, so that's kind of the difficulty about it. Like last year we played the Panthers. We had the same situation where we played the Panthers the week before the semi-final and played them in the semi-final, and it was the first 2 quarters in that semi-final. It was a lot harder than the week before.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Like what is the vibe in the camp after beating a team by 60 points? Like, do you analyze that game that just went past, or do you use the same preparation that you had from weeks prior to go into this one? Like what way do you prepare for a team that you've just beat by 60 points?
It's a bit of both. So we prepared for it. We prepared once we knew it was going to be the Trojans. We kind of prepared for it as like a 2-week slate. So but like when we got the game film a couple of days ago, and once we look at that and we review that, then we see what worked and what didn't, and we hopefully will do something different come Sunday, you know, and hopefully with the same results.
Expected, yeah.
David, going back to last year, you know, with it being so similar, I think for anyone that's outside looking in, it does look similar to the run last year up to this point. But what would you say is like the big difference between last season and this season for the team?
I think we're just a lot more complete, and I think we've taken a step forward from even last year. I think for me especially, like last year was my rookie year, so I'm a lot more experienced in football now. Yeah, but and also like we've had a few lads come back, so we have Liam Jeter and Sean Leamy come back. and they've just changed the way the offense, the attitude of the offense, and they've brought like a much needed experience to it as well. And so it's just we've a lot more leaders on the team this year, and we just seem a lot more like complete, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ty Henry himself, he was on under center last night, and he pretty much said the exact same thing. You know, he had a bunch of rookies last year, and everything's starting to click a lot more now. Going undefeated, bar the Bull, I wouldn't say is an incomplete team by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, you know, when Ty Henry says, "Oh yeah, this team's better now," it's just like, Jesus Christ. You know,
Yeah.
I am genuinely going to put into the league that, you know, everyone should play for the Shamrock Bowl, and then the winner faces the Rebels. Like, there is just a delta at the moment that it just seems a little bit too unfair.
I mean, UCD are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like UCD are UC and Cork. They're two like, really good teams. I haven't played them both. Like they're both really good.
Yeah.
I know from compared to last year, because last year you had a few more competitive games, but it feels like since the very first game against the Knights, you've just swept teams aside by 30, 40, 50, 60 points. Is that something, like, I know in the States, like college teams and stuff, like they put up points on smaller teams as like it's like an aggregate thing in their table. But is that something that you have, like it's still nil every drive, just keep running the score, or is it just we're that good, we're having fun with these guys at this point?
No, it's like Ty even says that it's like a game rep is 10 times better than a training rep. So it's just continuing. Like it's for us, we're always learning. So why not keep just trying to run? We're always just trying to play our best, and if that means scoring on every drive, like we're not going to complain about it, you know.
Yeah, you're doing quite well. 10 out of 10 for effort.
Yeah.
So last year being your rookie season, and now, like you're saying, this year being, you know, you've got more confidence, you've got more experience. What so far in your 2-season career has been your personal highlight?
Playing for the Wolfhounds in Spain, probably.
Nice.
That was a pretty cool experience. And not only just playing, but like being part of the team. Like it's a cool setup, and getting to know all the other guys on the Wolfhounds was also pretty cool.
Thanks.
Well, we'll go straight into predictions because we have a slate of guests that are all patiently waiting in the eaves. One's actually asleep, but so
Really? Are you serious?
It's only me who can see this. Is there even any point asking you what way you think it's going to go between yourselves and the Trojans this weekend?
Like I of course believe the Rebels are going to win, but I don't think we're playing for. We get it done,
you know. Do that one again.
Connection here.
Yeah, you went completely robotic.
Yes.
Oh no. No, I think we're gonna win, but I think every player would say that. So, but I do think it's going to be a lot more improved Trojans team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the other side of the SBC, we have the Admirals at home to UCD. Now, Alan Lamasny, sorry, I'm ruining your name here, is on after you. So just so you're aware, who do you think is going to win between the Ads and UCD?
I've been going back and forth on this one. like from playing under Brendan with the Wolfhounds, I know I have a feeling he has something up his sleeve this week. But they're both really good teams. I think it's going to be extreme close, but I probably side right now with UCD. It'll be close though. I think that's going to be a really close game. It could go either way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck predicting it.
Well, listen, bud, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of your work shift. And good luck on Sunday.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
See you, David.
Right. One down.
Okay,
like
do we
we
have
should-
like little music in between?
Yeah, we should like get some interval music.
What about that
Right,
really cool like rock guitar?
Anyway. So, as we said, that's only one of the playoff games we have this weekend in the SBC. We also have the Cork Admirals versus UCD down in Cork. And joining us to help us have a chat through that is head coach Alan Lemasny. Alan, how you going, bud?
I'm good, thanks. How are you keeping?
Not too bad. Did I ruin your surname? Did I pronounce it wrong?
No, Lemasny. Yeah, it's close
Lemasny.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You weren't too far off.
So the Admirals have had a bit of a weird few weeks. So they have there was a couple of questionable scorelines between the Rebels and the Minotaurs, and then just sort of settled a lot of nerves over the weekend there against the Panthers. Was that something that was very important for you to kind of make that statement going into the final game of the regular season?
Yeah, look, I mean, we hadn't played well the past couple of games. I mean, we knew that as well ourselves. But you go through that sometimes in a season. I mean, look, you know, it's a long season. You have, I think every squad will tell you that, you know, you've changes in personnel so often through the season. Guys that are available for some games, not for other games, whether it's through work, injury, whatever the case may be. And, you know, we had missing some fellas with other guys that were to come back from injury. And, you know, what you'd like really is to have everyone at the same time. And that's a lot of the time that's not possible. And then just execute. And I think, you know, we had a combination of factors in the Rebels game and the Westmeath game where we didn't execute for one and we didn't have all we wanted available to us either. So Sunday we had a majority of both. And look, you know, all credit to the Panthers, they were down on numbers on Sunday as well. But look, it's like everything else, you want to be going to the playoffs on a positive bit of momentum, and I think we achieved that on Sunday.
Yeah.
Dave, it's you. I'll go because it just sounds. I didn't know we had like a flow going, but okay.
Yeah. It's me, then you, then Chrissy. We'll just rotate. All
right. Throughout the season, anytime the Admirals were playing, we were doing the predictions. I always had you down as a team that were going to get wins. But like, you look at the Rebels wins and they're winning by 40 odd points, but the likes of yourselves, you were grinding out wins. Is that more down to the game plan being executed really well? Or is there slights in certain areas of the game? Maybe your defense not playing as well as you'd want, or your offense not playing as you want? Or is it just, this is what we expect to come up against, and this is how we're going to execute, and that gets you by in each game, other than the Panthers at the weekend, obviously?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'd be more than happy if we were to score 60 points in every team. Delighted. You know what? But look, as I said earlier, that just, you know, between squad numbers, injuries and stuff like that, that doesn't always happen. And obviously you game plan each team separately, and each team is different. So, you know, you're trying to see obviously what they do, who they'll have, and things like that. And in some cases, you know, a lot of it comes down to your own guys. You know, do we perform the way we're supposed to perform? And I think, look, I mean, we still won 7 out of the 8 games. You know, and whether you win by 1 or you win by 60, win is a win. But I think, you know, we probably weren't happy with some of the results we had. if we look back in it, there was things there that we could have said, look, a couple of plays here and there, and that's the thing, when you go back and you look at the film, you go, if 5 plays there had gone the other way, it's a 20-point change or a 30-point change or whatever the case may be. So you could turn a 5-point win into a 20-point win with a couple of plays. So look, it is kind of something that you have to put up with every year. You go through some days, and like Sunday, where everything goes right, and then there's other games where you have to grind it out and things go against you. But in saying that, I mean, we went to the Trojans and we went to the Knights in the space of just under 4 weeks. So we travelled the length of the country twice in a month.
Yeah.
Westmeath isn't close for us. So the travel, it's not an excuse, but like to travel, and the northern teams will tell you when they have to come to Cork, like it's a long spin. It's hard to, whether you're in a car or you're in a bus, obviously dehydration and stuff like that becomes a factor. So when you get off the bus then and you got to get into it straight away, sometimes it takes a small time for things to click. But look, it's, there's nothing we can do about it. Unfortunately, we're the only team down this end, unless Limerick come up to the top division next year, in which case we'd actually have someone close to us. But other than that, I mean, our nearest team to play is Dublin. So look, it is it's just one of those things where we game plan each one, and then we see what happens as the game goes. There's lots of different factors from weather and execution and other things that can come into play as well.
Yeah, funny. Sorry to cut in front of you, Chrissy. But you know what? We're GreenZone is what we do. I was actually going to ask you, how much help have you been giving Liam Ryan this season? Just to ensure that you have a very close away game.
No, look, I see a few of our guys when we're above with the 19s. One of his players is one of my ex-youth team. One of our running backs is one of Limerick's running backs as well. So, look, it's great to see it. I mean, look, they were a team that were in the SBC there a couple of years back, and due to numbers, they had to drop down. And look, we've all been there. I mean, I had to pull the plug on the Admirals 10 years ago. I had to fold the team because at the time we didn't have the bodies, and there wasn't any help coming our way at the time from the league. Whereas now we're back in the SBC again, and we're consistently winning youth football championships, and we're in the playoffs pretty much every year since we came back up. So it's in Ireland, I think, for clubs, but whether it is numbers for people or whether it is financial, it's a huge journey every year to get from starting to finishing a season and all the bits and pieces in between. So listen, it's great to see it. It would be fantastic, obviously, to have them back in the SBC again, and not just because they're close to us, but because they were always known as an SBC team anyway. So it would be great to have them back again.
Yeah, but only getting one Mafia game on the bus.
Look, I am sure they'll manage. They can add it. Sometimes they run smaller games, sometimes they run longer games, depending on where we're going. I'm sure they'll figure that out.
So, sorry, Chrissy, please go ahead.
I would just like to preface my question with, see, now someone gets what I mean by it takes a lot to travel. Okay, that's the only time.
You've only lost one game, Chrissy. It means nothing.
I am vindicated. I am vindicated.
Yeah.
Now on to my question. I just wanted to get that out of my system. This is a big game. There's no denying it. This, especially against UCD, this, in my opinion, is going to be the game to watch this weekend. Is there anything that you are specifically looking to build on from throughout the season to just fine tune to go out and try to beat UCD?
There's nothing, I suppose. Look, there's nothing in particular. I mean, we try and practice the way we play. We practice hard. We like to execute and practice, and then it just comes down to whether or not that translates on the day, in games. And look, you've all seen football games, and whether it is at our level, at NFL, you see two teams going out against each other thinking, listen, this is going to be a cracker. And just one team, just either everything goes wrong for them or just something happens, the thing doesn't happen on the day. And sometimes, it's a blowout, and other times it's a cracker of a game. You can't predict that stuff. You prepare as best you can. Like we've run into UCD now quite a lot over the last few years. Like when we won the Champions Bowl in 2018, we beat them in the semi-final. Semi-final last year, they beat us. They've beaten us the regular season. We've beaten them the regular season over the last few years as well. So, there's been a good battle between the two of us over the last 5 or 6 years. So, listen, they're a fantastic team. They are the champions and worthy champions. They've got some guys back. They're very strong. They certainly will have more bodies than we have. I would imagine we're probably comfortably the smallest squad left in the play of the four in the playoffs numbers wise. So it'll just come down to can we stay healthy and can we execute like we want to, and look, we have guys that played in the Irish team against them and vice versa, so they all know each other fairly well. Coaches know each other fairly well, so there's nothing groundbreaking that's going to appear that we haven't seen again before. Everybody probably has some few little knacks that they keep for the playoffs, but at the end of the day, it's still the same basic group of players that both teams have had. So there's nothing spectacular that we do differently for the playoffs, but again, execute. Do the small things well and good things happen.
Yeah. We actually have a viewer question for you, Al. Also, everyone who's watching live, by all means, throw questions in. We fire them in as we can. So,
is this from AO by any chance?
It's not. It's not actually from AO. AFI Redesigned asks, please ask Alan what he thought the best play in the Panthers at Ads game was, and why was it his pass breakup?
I don't think it was his pass breakup. No, not quite. Best play. Look, we had a few long touchdown passes in that game. Declan May there had something like 3 catches for, was it 100 and something yards and 3 touchdowns. Like that's pretty good. I think one of them went for ones of 80 yards. So probably one of those, I'd say. Definitely not his pass breakup.
Dewey has just been written.
His pass breakup was better than his reffing, though, to be fair.
Oh,
you'll take offense to that. I'm waiting for it. He's typing probably currently.
I'm sorry. Owen Connolly taking offense to something? Never.
Owen's not that type of guy.
No, definitely not. He's one of the most level-headed men I know.
Yeah.
So looking at this week's games, I'm assuming you're going to go for yourselves against UCD 7 days a week.
Look, you got to back your own guys. Have to back my own guys.
Exactly.
Listen, I wouldn't be doing this for so long if I didn't believe in the guys we have. It's you don't put as much time into it in the coaching side of things, and off the field as well as on the field if you don't believe in your team. So yeah.
Yeah, and then a couple of hours up the road, De La Salle, Trojans v Rebels.
Yeah, look, I was, I thought that the game last week would have been closer. The Trojans have a decent squad. I think, they've, maybe things, again, as I said, some days things just go against you. You'll be thinking that they'll certainly study the tape of the game and they'll be, ready to go on Sunday against the Rebels. Realistically, the Rebels are a fantastic squad. They're certainly a better team than they were last year, and I think it will be very difficult for the Trojans to beat them. But look, any day, any team is a good shot, but I would be picking the Rebels, I think.
Yeah, I think to be a lot of agreement with that. And the other games, which I forgot to ask Dave King about, as we move up more north, we have not this weekend, but the following weekend, the D2 Bowl with the Giants and the Eagles. What way do you see that one going?
I I got to back my man Kevin Clatton, that one in the Eagles. I think he's done a fantastic job since he came back. Probably shouldn't have been gone in the first place, but that's a whole other story. I think they've been fantastic this year, and they've travelled a bit. So yeah, I think it's going to be tough to beat the Eagles in that one.
Yeah. And lastly, the D1 Bowl, which is on the Sunday. Vikings, your good friend Liam Ryan up the road
versus the Mavericks. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, I've been very impressed with the Mavericks this year. They've put up some fantastic scores, and Limerick as well have been very solid. I mean, they've both had fantastic seasons. Maybe the home field advantage swings it, I think, possibly for Limerick. I think they're probably overall, they might be, maybe slightly more rounded squad. Having, this is kind of, they were pretty good last year, but they just probably have taken that extra step this year. So I'd probably lean towards Limerick for that one.
Yeah. Plus it's an hour up the road.
Yeah. Not as far as Belfast, but it's still a trip. Still a trip. Yeah.
And just before we let you go, we've actually had another question in for you. Carl Mallon asks, can you ask how preparations for, I'm assuming that's GIFT, are going, and is there any standouts to watch for the future?
Going very well. We've had a few sessions now already in the NSC. We've another one on the 22nd of July. And as for standout, yes, there is some serious talent in this 19s team that is coming down the tracks for fellas. I suppose, look, we're getting to see a lot of lads that maybe aren't getting full-time game reps with their clubs, especially in the Premier Division. But yeah, there's some phenomenal players there. There's a handful of guys that are playing in the Premier Division that are with us, but there's an awful lot of guys that are maybe, trying to break into lineups. But yeah, there's some serious talent in this youth league, and the youth football squad is definitely, look, we didn't have much time to get them ready. I think we've got like 5 days, and we're trying to get an extra couple to get them ready to play. And, playing a high school in your first ever game isn't exactly the easiest thing that you could be handed. But look, I think we'll be ready, and we'll certainly do our best to put a good product out on the field for that game. But yeah, there's some serious guys on that squad. I'd be here half the night to list them all off, but we are seriously stacked at running back. I'd throw that one in. There's some serious running backs there.
And what date's that high school game on again?
25th of August. It's basically, it's under lights in Energy Stadium in Donnybrook, so it should be pretty cool. Playing
nice.
Yeah, playing the community school in Naples from Florida. So it should be. I actually watched them a few years ago up there. They were over again. So they're a decent squad. So it should be interesting. Should be interesting. I certainly didn't think a few years ago when I was watching it that I'd be on the sideline as coaching it this time. That's for sure.
Yeah, but that's just one of those things that the sport does give you. And I mean, Irish football this summer, like what we've got after our nonsense all ends. We have the Wolfhounds versus Turkey. We have that whole gift week. We have the college game. We have the European Flag Championships. Yeah, we'll
have the
capital of football.
The Hope True Football Camp as well with Rod Woodson.
Oh, is he coming back? Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of organising that now as well at the moment. So yeah, it's going to, and then we might the under-19s might have a second game yet this year after the gift one. So we're trying to organise that as well. So.
Any GreenZone exclusive on that?
October. I won't say who and where, but it's hopefully in October.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take a GreenZone exclusive. Something's happening in October.
Yeah. So yeah, look, there's a lot of football yet to happen between this and September, October time, and then look, you're going into the youth season then at that stage, so even more football, and then obviously most teams will be back into pre-season training again. So it's It's a full-time gig.
Jeez,
Football,
that's
which is
a
great.
break
I mean,
from
it's
the
great.
podcast.
Just to have football pretty much all year round in Ireland is fantastic.
Yeah. Let's just hope it gets a bit closer to Belfast now. These long trips are killing me.
Hey, you and me both.
we can't talk.
We can. Everything's
can.
in Limerick and Cork, and it makes me sad. I love Cork. Cork's great. But see, when like
but
you have a
sure.
3-month-old child, and it's like 5 hours down, do the thing, 5 hours back, it's going to break me.
Yeah, it's a lot easier in a car. The bus is a killer.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
obviously the bus can't go over the certain limit. So, it certainly makes things a lot longer when you're getting on a bus after a game, and then you're looking at heading all the way back. I think we left the night's game, which was about 6:30 in the evening. I think we left Belfast. So that was a long day. That was a long day. It was about 10:30ish, I think.
Oh.
And we had got on the bus at 5:30 that previous morning, or that Sunday morning. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Nope.
Yeah.
Now that's where I would agree with Chrissy with the traveling affecting the game.
Yeah.
That's a long
and then do it twice in just under a month. So
Yeah.
it was interesting. And not to mention the cost of buses these days is mental.
Yes. The league needs a bursary for like distant teams.
Yeah,
Your own bus company.
we nearly bought a bus. We could have bought a bus what we paid this year.
Jeez.
Yeah, frightening.
Well, we'll let you go on. Good luck for
much.
Sunday.
Thank you very much,
And
yeah.
hopefully
Thanks for having me on.
you get that home game for the Shamrock Bowl.
Sure, look. We'll see what happens. We won't look past this. We won't look past this weekend first.
All right, Alan.
Right. Thanks, lads. Talk to you soon.
Take it easy.
care.
Thanks,
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye. This is like a marathon.
It is. Like I have my juice here just to keep me going.
But also, don't forget, sure, Dave was like, "Oh, I'd rather drive to Limerick than drive to Dublin." So
that still stands.
that is where I'm holding to you that next week.
Whoa.
Next week.
I have driven with Dave to Dublin.
We
Is the
only
anger
nearly died once. All right.
You've driven to Dublin with me.
Yes.
How is that any worse?
Dave
We
tried to swing
Yes.
in the oncoming
Yes.
traffic because
The
he
Rhinos
felt
match.
he had right away.
Yeah, bastards. Should have stopped from it.
But looking on beyond playoffs, we have the D2 Bowl, which has moved to Dundalk on Saturday, the 8th of July. And we actually have 3 guests for this one. So joining us from the Eagles, we have Matt Reed.
Hello.
We have
No.
Kenny, that I can't remember his surname.
Excellent start.
And from the Giants, we have big man, recently fathered Ross McKenzie.
Ross McKenna.
How are we doing? Sorry, I'm back upstairs here.
This is like a work conference.
Yep. This is the house tour with Ross McKenzie.
Cheers. Sitting back down now.
Ross, I think some people may want you to address the elephant that I brought into the show at the start there. Is there a comment, or are you going to defer?
All I am going to say, I'm not mentioning the players' names or anything, but with the way AFI2 went this season with Trinity folding, if a player registered for us after the 17th of April, they would have been automatically deemed ineligible because we only had 1 game since then because of the 2-week curfew, and then we only had 1 game after that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we could say yeah.
Come on. Just go ahead and say.
No, that's all I'm going to say. So, a bit like, for a development league, with the season only starting in March and couldn't have any players registering after the middle of April's a wee bit.
Yeah, I mean, there is some logic to that, but breaking out the Bafa boys for the Pirates, like driving like 5 hours on a bus up the Armory just to be remembered. Oh God, the GB national team. Here we go.
They're retired players, really. So retired longer than I've been playing.
Well, I thought they looked quite good. That first touchdown was pretty sweet, to be honest. The wee jig move on the corner was class. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But I was like, this is suspicious.
Aye, sure. Not here to talk about that, are we? I'm here to talk about a bowl.
So, everyone,
Chris, your mic's going clicky clacky.
Yeah, it's clicky clacky again. Didn't hear a word of that, buddy.
What he said there, I thought I heard
no idea what you're saying.
I think I heard a Dave in there. So right, I'll just take point. We'll speak to the two Eagles guys, Matt and Kenny.
Sorry, I don't know if I was meant to be in on this one. I'm a rebel as well.
I knew you were a rebel because you just messaged. You messaged, yeah, Kenny McCarty. I was like, hold on a minute.
we have to wait for Chris to come back.
No. Kenny, just talk about the Eagles season in great detail for me, please. This will be timed and will be checked. Chris, you made a mistake.
What I did?
A rebel.
Kenny is a rebel.
You got a spy in the group.
I am so sad. So, Kenny, how do you think D2 is going to go?
I've already done that bit. You're going to have to unceremoniously kick him.
Yeah. Good luck on Sunday, bud. In my defense, there was another Kenny from the Eagles who was coming on, and that's what I thought that was.
Okay. I saw Dave covered a good bit on the Rebels. Do you want me to stick around or no?
I kind of feel bad telling you to clear up.
I don't want your pity.
Okay, introducing the guest host for this week, Kenny.
Kenny McCarty, by the way, Chris.
Kenny McCarty, yes.
Right,
I'm terribly sorry.
No, you're fine.
Normally we have one guest, and I can barely manage that.
No, that's fine. Sorry, Ty kind of just threw a few people the link. So I think Dave did a great job of summarizing a bunch of stuff. We can let Ross kick off to the Eagles and have a good podcast.
Good luck on Sunday. Oh God.
I'll be clipped.
Mark here's just shaking the head.
Yeah, I agree.
No comment.
But you don't want Kenny McCarty lining up for you.
Sure. He's grand.
So yes, D2 Bull. Who wants to start off? Matt, you've had pretty much as good a season as you could have had.
Yeah, we've had
D2.
We've had a good season. It's had its ups and downs. You know, we haven't played as many games as we'd like to play. You know, you pay your fees, you expect to play games. You know, teams can't show up, the weather, whatever. And so we're a little bit disappointed in that. We would have liked to play some more. But that's just how it goes. You know, we're not paying anybody to play, so people have work commitments and everything gets in the way. So you just do with what you have.
Yeah, like how many rescheduled / counts? I mean, it was a running joke at one stage. And
it was,
even if you did get to the pitch,
podcast that you know, are the Eagles ever going to play a game? You know, we were thinking the same thing ourselves. Are we ever going to actually get onto the field? We got up to Dublin, all suited up, ready to go against the Pirates, and then the last minute they're like, "Oh, there's no ambulance." And everybody just looked around and go, "What? Are you kidding me?" And we waited and waited we were in the car park waiting for the ambulance to show up like at the last minute, and when it didn't show, we just said, "All right, lads, on the bus, we're out of here," and we just had to leave. And it was unfortunate because I don't think the Pirates had as many members suited and ready to go. Like they were ready to go. So I think that started their season off on the wrong foot, for them, because they had trouble last year, and so as did we, but we were a little bit better prepared, and so they were ready to go. And then when we had to leave, I felt bad for them, but there was nothing we could do. So that was it.
Yeah, and then you had to reschedule that ended up being a double header at Sport Campus.
Yeah, with the reschedule and then play Trinity last minute, and like Alan was saying, players could make it, couldn't make it. The Admirals deal with the same problems. Every team deals with these problems. Who do we have available last minute, or, so you, like I said, you just play with what you have.
Did you find, Matt, though, like obviously you want to play as many games as possible, but did you find that having those weeks of training really helped find some chemistry with your players? Or did you find that sometimes players actually were like, why am I coming to training if I'm not playing a game? Like, was there a problem there? Or did it help?
So as a coach, I wanted more time to prepare. I thought that we were getting thrown into this fairly quickly, and half our squad is essentially rookies. So we have a lot of rookies this year. So when you're trying to take someone who didn't grow up with football and you're trying to teach them the game, a position, and then the rules, and then everything about it, like your man was saying from the Mavs, or what? No, it wasn't the Mavs. It was the Vikings. Or he didn't know the difference between a punt return and a kickoff return, and you have to teach those things to players in order to have a successful football team. So I thought the delay actually helped our club because we got more time to prepare it and more time to kind of gel as a team. But then once we were ready, once we started playing, we just wanted to play and play and play. And the funny thing is, we played the Giants the most, and now we're going to see them again. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
but yeah, definitely more time did us a benefit to prepare for the season. Getting rookies ready. It's tough getting a rookie ready. You're teaching a lad who just rocks up. He's watched a few football games on TV. He's played some Madden, and he thinks he can throw a bomb. And everybody wants to be a quarterback. Everybody wants to be a receiver. Everybody wants to score a touchdown. But there's you try to tell the big lads, sorry, you're not going to be the starting running back this year. You're on the O line, you're on the D line. So you have to break their little hearts and get them. Then once they start to learn the game, defensive end, that's one of the best positions on a football team. Middle linebacker, outside linebacker, great. O-line, if you like blocking, you like running assignments, and you don't like to run, if you don't want to actually move very far on the field, O-line, and then so you have to get everybody in their positions and figure out what you're going to do, and it takes a lot. I'm lucky on our squad. I do the defense with Terry Carey, and Kevin Klatt does the offense. It's done us a big benefit not having to do both sides of the ball. Kevin can focus on offense and can install his plays, and then we can work on defense and do our plays and do what we need to do. But yeah, getting rookies ready is tough. So.
Yeah, and yourself, Ross. How do you think the Giants season's gone so far? You haven't had it as seemingly easy as the Eagles.
It's all, I suppose, as Matt was saying, it's rookies. We have a few rookies in our squad as well. There was a few boys who maybe joined towards the end of last season, and then they were kind of thrown into the deep end last season. And then with a new head coach and new coaches and new personnel and all coming in, you were basically anybody who had only played last season was then being treated as a rookie again. And then there was players now who were maybe changing position because Conan's came in and nobody had a position basically, and everybody then was given a position. 2 positions he was trying to do, like everybody had an offense and a defense position to learn, kind of from December, January time. And then we went into training camp, which is the first time I've ever done anything like it. We stayed in Armoy Primary School for 2 nights, and then that's when the Seahawks came down and played us on the Sunday. And it was brilliant for the team as a whole. Just everybody getting to know each other a bit more. Everybody having breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all together. So that there was good. Season itself could have been better. Obviously, the 2 games against the Eagles didn't go well at all. But I suppose
they went well. They did. You played games.
Of course, you'd say that.
Well, I suppose
you have to give credit to where credit's due. They did well. They executed on a lot of things. They didn't execute on other things. And one thing that I give them credit for is the first game and the second game. The second game was a different game than the first game. They had made adjustments off the first game, which I noticed on the defense. I noticed it straight away, and it
didn't help as well for the away game. We were missing probably a couple of our more experienced players, should we say? A few boys had to work on things I got there, and a trip away down to Wexford and home again. There's just some people just couldn't take the time away. And then the home game, one of the boys who didn't play in the away game then was there for the home game, and 2 plays in, that was him out. Went over in his ankle, popped. Well, not popped but that was him out for the game. He played a wee bit there at the weekend, so should be ready for the bowl. But it's just wee things like that there. As everybody knows, you need as full as a squad as you can get for every game. When you take out a couple of pieces of the key starting positions, you're down from the get-go. It's just getting that depth into every single position, which will come hopefully. Get a few more boys in, bit more coaching. There's still players who don't really understand the game fully, and it shows. So, yeah.
So, like you said about how through Conan being head coach, how you experienced like a proper camp for the first time, and he kind of just took a sledgehammer to what was previously thought of as how you coach a team, and at least what the Giants experienced last year.
Mm-hmm.
How have you seen Conan's coaching positively affecting the team, going from last year?
It even comes down to just communication too, because we now go through even not just game film, we go through training film. So we record all our scrimmages and training, and then sit down and go through, oh, this shouldn't have happened that way, this should have happened this way. So it all comes down to that there. It's learning too, communication as well. Like Conan will message me, I know he messages other players saying, here, look, I know you've been playing, but if you could try do this instead of this. Like, talking from experience, I used to get on the outside linebacker position, I used to get sucked in to the O line, which I shouldn't be doing. So it's just learning. Sorry, you probably hear my dog barking there.
That's fine on a weekly basis. It's fine.
So no, Conan with his experience. Hold on, I'm going to close this door. Conan with his experience and all, from coaching GB youth and things, it definitely shows. We were lucky that he married a woman from round the corner from our pets, like, so he was here. But yeah, it's just everything's just coming together bit by bit. Obviously, it's not going to happen in one season. Nothing's going to be perfect in one season, especially with a new head coach. So we'll see how the next 2 or 3 years go. Hopefully, when I go to the other side of 30, I can still play in things, because playing for 6 years, it's hurting already. Like, but we can still go.
It's possible in your 30s, buddy. It's possible.
see how many more wades up here too. That could be the issue.
Dave?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We haven't had 2 guests before. We nearly had 3, so all the things out of the way. So it's I'm kind of going to give one to both of you, and I'm going to put in a nice wee thing for me and Chris here. In last year's D2 Bowl, it was between the Jets and the Mavericks. The Mavericks beat the Jets twice in the regular season, and then the Jets scored and won 22-0 this time around. What way do you prepare this game? Do you prepare as it was in the regular season, or is it no? This is a bowl game, completely different ball game. And I'll start with Matt. We'll let Matt answer first.
Well, preparation is everything, but we are just an amateur football team, so we are just going to continue to do what we do and just keep doing it. We're just going to keep grinding. On the defense, if we see something, we're going to exploit it, and we're going to continue to exploit it. The offense, if they got something that's working, they're going to continue to do it. The defense, our defense is pretty dynamic, and it changes, it adapts. So if they do something that works against us in the middle of a game, we adapt very quickly, and we can change personnel and change formation and do everything to adapt to that. So our preparation is the same as every game. The lads feel a bit more pressure, so it's up to me to calm the nerves, get them, down to realizing that this is still just a football game. It's just a game. Got to go out there and execute, do what you do your job, and that's just it. We'll see what the score is at the end of the game. Some of the rookies, it's going to be hard. When we played up in for the Giants, our last game, we had 16 rookies suited, and 16 rookies played that game. So we try to, as a club, as a coach, our club isn't going to continue to be successful and thrive unless we get the rookies and then we get them to play, because it's no use getting rookies and then them not playing. They're not going to stick around. So you got to try to get everybody to play. It is a game. So if everybody plays and everybody has a good time, then they come back and they bring their friends, and the team builds, and the morale of the team, the success of the team. So we do try to play everybody. But as far as preparation, we're just going to prepare like we normally do, business as usual, and then we'll celebrate when it's over, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah. Same to you, Ross. There.
Yeah, probably basically the same. There's no point changing with 10 days before a game. There's no point really changing what you are doing. We'll probably have our usual film review from the weekend to go through what plays worked, what plays didn't work, and then see what assignments come out from the coaches, and just the individual players will have to go over it, and then we'll get chatting about it again before the game. I think that's just the way. There's no point then saying, "Oh, you can be playing this position," and they haven't played that position all season. There's just keep it the way it is, and as Matt says, after the game, just especially now that it's in Dundalk, the rugby club bars open after a few beer after the game, and
hopefully we get that pizza.
Yeah,
we have the Mavs on next. We will confirm this.
Yeah.
Also, bring cash for the bar because the card machine never works.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've already told our boys out there. You made that last year, Chris. I was a Holland. But no, I've played in the bowl game before. I played would have been the Jets' second season, the D2 Bowl against the Bulldogs. Again, I don't know what happened. I can't mind what the score was, but I think it was 40 something at a stage. Bulldogs just completely destroyed the Jets that day. First half, I think it could have been 30-0 or something at the half. Something like that anyway. But that's bowl games that say they're something don't work. Like, I remember somebody trying to kick a field goal from 50 yards, which was never going to happen. Early on in the game, I don't know why the Jets tried it, but they did. Yeah, and then the Bulldogs had short field, and the rest is history. So I don't really want to lose 2 finals. So see what happens anyway.
Yeah, well, while we're on the subject of the bowl, I don't think it's. I could ask a prediction, but I think I know the answer to both. So we'll just ignore the D2 bowl. We know you're going to say Giants, Matt. We know you're going to say Eagles, Ross, because we're all friends here. That was intentional. I didn't mix it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't quite catch that at first. I was
Let's
like,
talk about D2 in general.
Yeah.
You know, let's talk about D2 and how that needs to change, because I understand that you need a division for new and upcoming teams, but to come into D2 and like the Giants must be feeling it like we are. You know, they're our only competitors right now, and we're their only competitors, and that's just not fair for everybody who pays their fees and expects to play football. So something's got to change in the league as far as D2 goes.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, we ended up in D2 this year because we had, you know, a catastrophe last year, and that happens. And I understand you have to play by the rules, and you know, there's rules in place. But yeah, D2 needs to change so it's fair for everybody, and you know, it's just not. You know, we're like the forgotten about form. You know, AFI we're like a footnote. You know, even in all the podcasts and everything. You know, and then you have these players, they put their heart and soul into it, and then they feel like they're just a footnote in the AFI. The league isn't doing, in my opinion, you know, any of the players of the teams in D2 justice. You know, but
I would agree. I mean, we all graduated D2 last season. And last season was different. There was a full league, there was a full division. So there was, but with the decision to bring 3 teams up this season, and don't get me wrong, yes, the Jets, like we won, so we went up. But realistically, I think our record has shown that perhaps we shouldn't have. But you've got the Mavs and the Razorbacks who are doing phenomenally. Mavs are all the way to the Bull. But again, the decision to bring 3 teams up, 2 based on competitiveness, did tank D2. It just did. There's no way around it. And would those 2 teams have probably waded the Bull playoffs at the very least? For sure. But it still doesn't change the fact that everyone kits up the same on a Sunday. Everyone goes home with the same bruises. And we all pay our fees and play as hard for every team, whether it be D1, D2, or Aiden's in the chat. Aiden, fix it.
New answers now.
So, yeah, moving on to predictions. So, D1 Bull, we'll start there. They play after yourselves next week. We have the Mavs, then we also have the Vikings all the way down in Limerick. We'll start with yourself, Ross. You haven't said anything in a while. What way do you think that's going to go?
I think the Vikings have it. I think it will be very tight. Mavericks, compared to last season, they're completely different. Well, still have the core, but from what I understand, they had a few players who took a year out last season and have came back this season. But I watched both the bowl games last year, and the Vikings were very unlucky. I thought they were a very good side last season. I think they are basically an SBC team. But I'd say the Mavericks aren't far away from it. But maybe just not this year. Yeah.
And yourself, Matt, do you see it going the same way?
These things are nearly impossible to predict. When you factor in, the weather, if it's hot and humid and you have lads dropping out, if you have players playing both ways, like I think some of the Mavericks do, those are factors. If Cork has a smaller side, but if they have players going both ways, and then that factors in as well. Yeah, I just it's hard to predict. The Vikings, I think. Yeah, I think I'll go with the Mavs because I think they really want to. They want it. Yeah, I'll go with the Mavs.
Yeah, the unofficial and also official team of the podcast.
Is that changed?
Yeah. So moving on up the SBC, we have the playoffs. We'll start with yourself, Matt. Rebels at home to the Trojans. What way do you see that one going?
Rebels.
Yeah.
Fair.
There's nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rebels will win that. I think they'll win it quite handily. But hopefully the Trojans show up, and hopefully the Trojans, put it to them and make it a game. For the sake of everybody, for the sake of the sport, for the sake of AFI, for the sake of the Rebels. Nobody wants a walkover. Make them work for it, make them earn it. So the best case scenario is Trojans go up there, they show up, they work it, and they come away with points on the board. And they got to be happy with that. But the Rebels are going to win that game.
Yeah. And Ross, you're nodding your head there.
Yeah, agreed. I think the Rebels are just a powerhouse this season, from what I've seen anyway.
Yeah. And on the other side of the SBC coin, we have the Admirals at home to UCD.
Yeah, this
Ross,
is.
what way? Oh,
No,
Matt, go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Go. You're switching things around, Chris.
I am. I'm bouncing.
Just all over the shop.
No, nobody knows.
As UCD, here's the one.
The Admirals and UCD. That's going to be the game to watch. That's going to be a great matchup. Now I have ex-teammates playing for UCD, so I want to see him be successful and win. I'm a fan of the Cork Admirals. I would like them to win. Who shows up on the day is who's going to win that game. That's going to be the game to watch. That should be the game of the week. That'd be a good matchup. I'm gonna go with UCD.
Yep.
And ask me in an hour. I may say the Admirals, but how long is a piece of string? Who knows? So.
Yeah, there is an element of coin flipping involved with that one.
Yeah, momentum. Who scores first? Someone gets hurt. Anything can happen. Humidity. A few calls go the wrong way. Lads get their morale down. Graham Jenkinson is great for the UCD is lifting morale, and he should rally those lads together. So I think UCD. I think the UCD will pull it out.
Ross, would you agree, or are you in Camp Admiral?
No, I probably would agree. But I think if UCD if they do win, I think it'll be very interesting to see the Bull, especially it's a rematch from last season. So hopefully, or any of them, hopefully somebody streams something at the weekend I can watch it.
There's just a comment there from AFI Redesign saying game of the week, you say, so possibly someone will be down there. Although he'll upload it the day after.
Yes, Owen is going down, confirmed. But yeah, guys, thanks for being incredibly patient and sitting in the background there, and thanks for joining us. We'll be down on the 8th. We'll be there. We'll be hopefully, not promising, but we will hopefully be live streaming it. I'm doing some testing with equipment this week to make sure it works. But apart from that, thank you very much, gents, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
No worries, thank you.
Tell the truth, you're just going for the pizza.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, alleged pizza.
Right. Chris is going to have a pocket full of cash.
Yes. Yeah, back pocket full of euros for the bar.
Yeah. All right. It's been a pleasure. Good luck in the ball, Ross.
See you then. Yeah,
we'll see you on the field. And it's like the rest of the season, it's been an enjoyable. You've been a great opponent. And, hopefully it pans out for everybody. But unfortunately, there's going to be one winner, and the Eagles.
I love that.
He loves it. Cheers, Chris.
Thank you.
It's here, lads. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
There we go.
Oh, my head hurts.
I like that.
Yes.
That was nice.
Okay, God.
Great to see Kenny. A great Wexford Eagle legend.
Yes, he is well renowned.
Apologies
to Kenny McCartney. Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Klatt said as well. There's no Kenny on the squad.
Listen, he's available on Saturday. He's going up the
road. We're just going to throw a Kenny in the Eagles squad and see if anyone notices.
The drama season has not ended. But we are an hour and 22 minutes in. So thank you, everyone, so far for staying through. We will go to the last.
People.
The
22
last...
people. The 22 people are watching live.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Yay, Chrissy with the numbers. Yes, the last game we're going to cover this week is the. Oh, there we go.
Is it going to work?
We're having
is it going to crash the screen? Is it going to crash the screen?
Before I do this, who's on the left?
Me.
Like no picture wise.
Oh wait, it's the Vikings.
Vikings
it's the Vikings and Mavs.
Vikings are on the left.
Okay, so we have.
This is so smooth.
The UL
this is such a smooth transition.
Mavericks. And before we start chatting.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Hello guys.
What's happening?
Yes. I should not have told you guys 8 o'clock. I'm terribly
sorry. That was never going to happen. So good.
Yes. We are, of course, joined by Finn O'Donovan from the Vikings and Brendan Sims, one half of the Sims dynasty down there in Louth. How are you, gentlemen?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Not too bad.
Yeah, I'm all good. Can't complain.
So, you're in the bowl. Finn, this is the runner-up from last year. Brendan, runner-up from last year.
You keep bringing that up as much as you can. I'm surprised you don't have the gold medals around the neck, like, you know.
This is too far away. I'm not going to grab it. Yeah. They're staring at me. Yeah, you guys are no strangers to bowl games. We'll start with yourself, Finn. How's the season gone for you leading up to this point?
Couldn't ask for much better, really. I mean, we're 9-0, and we're not like the Mavericks, like they've been blowing everyone out, it seems. We've kind of been sticking it close in some matches, but I mean, if you have to compare us to an NFL team, we're the Chiefs never blow out anyone, but they're Super Bowl champions. So, I mean, the comparison is there.
But they're pretty brave comparison to me.
Yes.
You're gonna have to show it in a couple of weeks' time.
I'm just delighted he said we're not like the Mavericks and then something nice. I thought he was gonna, because they we're undefeated, unlike the Mavericks, So.
I mean, that's true too, but I didn't point that out.
And yourself, Brendan?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, let Brendan answer.
Yep.
Yeah, the season's been great. Like we've improved so much from last year, and it has been a case of just getting a few of those veterans back and then a few rookies in as well. So we're happy with how things have gone, and hopefully we can continue this success next Sunday. Jeez, can't talk.
That's fair. This is a podcast where no one can talk, and I just spew nonsense until I get a correct sentence. But main question for yourself, Brendan. Obviously, you played the Crusaders there past Sunday, and it finished 9-8. And I think the whole of the country kept asking people, why is there no more updates in the Mavericks game? It can't be 9-8. It can't still be 9-8. You beat them, I think, was it 35-0 during the season? 34-0?
33-0.
33-0. What was different? Was it something that they were showing you, or was there something with your guys that just wasn't clicking on Sunday?
We expected to play the same Crusaders we had played earlier in the season. They were a lot different. They ran the ball a lot more. They didn't just solely rely on Jordan to make plays. They had a good core group of lads around them making plays as well. So, they kind of had us by surprise with that. And, it was just then after that, few scores went up in the first couple. I think it was both in the first half we had our scores. After that, it was just a game of defense completely. Like, we just neither side could get the ball really going on offense for any long stretches. I think we got 2 within field goal range, but ended up missing both of them. I think one of them was within field goal range, if you know what I'm saying. I don't think anyone was kicking that, but it just went under the bar. So, yeah, it was just a game of defenses, and it was a hard-fought game. I am in serious pain still from the game. I got absolutely crunched by that free safety. I don't know his name, but oh my God, it's the hardest hit I've ever had in American football, and I am still feeling it in my lower back.
So sure. We were all on the sideline, kind of just waiting. It's like he's getting up, right?
Folded in half. In half.
Yeah. I think Finn, go to yourself based off of you were the runner up, like was mentioned earlier last year. What is like the mindset of the team preparing for this?
We're thinking like cannot be same as last year. Like there is no way we're letting that happen. Ever since I think if the bowl is 11 days away, it's like 332 days ago or something. And ever since then, it's just
not that you're counting.
It's just been burning at us, and we've been working hard, every single one of us, just to get back here. And now we're here. We just can't let it slip again.
Yeah, sorry. We're an hour and a half in. The mind's starting to stop. Yeah, it's you guys have faced off this season. I believe this is an open question for the two of you. Whoever wants to jump in first. Did you play a proper game, or did you leave some stuff in the back pocket?
I assume that's directed at us, so I'll jump in. We didn't leave anything in the back pocket intentionally. We just had. Well, I mean, that's a whole nother story. It was more he was going away to America, and we wanted to see what we could do without him. But in terms of, it was just the heat on the day and a mix of just the low numbers we had on the day just really, really hindered us from looking like the team we had been. I mean, we had about 17 players all in all for that game. It was the hottest game I've played all year. And when it gets that hot and that humid and you have that many players, if you can't rest your O&D line, Like, it's just going to be seriously downhill from the second quarter on. So if you ask my opinion of why the game went that way, that would be it. And we weren't necessarily trying to hide anything, if you get me. Although I can't speak for the intentions of the coaches in any way, shape, or form. All I know is I was livid losing that game and coming off that pitch, especially, and I know it's going to be shown later, the clip Finn has. We won't even discuss it now until it is shown.
Actually, as luck would have it for you, Brendan.
Oh, thank the Lord.
We were loading all this. But before we went live, we were loading all this, and every time I did it, my computer just shit the bed and fell over. So I was like, I can't do it.
Class. I was thinking I'm going to come on here, be embarrassed in front of everybody. You know, all those 22 watchers that Chrissy was on about.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
We will put it up on Instagram.
Permanently.
Yeah, as a post, not a story, post.
No tagline or nothing, just that video. No context.
Just tag me.
Overlaid on top of it, arrow pointing at you. What about yourself? And did you give them a full match? Did you give them the full Vikings treatment?
Maybe we did, maybe we didn't.
Whoa, that sounded confident.
We came out and we weren't hiding anything. Like, we were running through the plays we were comfortable with, and how we game planned for the game. So we weren't hiding anything, so to say. But not to say that we don't have anything coming for the ball. Anything new.
I love the slyness of it, and just Brendan smiling and rocking back and forth.
I just feel like I'm watching two politicians talk.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a message that I got. I don't know what account it was on. Apparently, the Vikings playoff team is slightly more ferocious, according to a certain Rhino player that was messaging me. But you talk away, and I'll try to find it.
That's fair enough.
Finn, we had your coach on another podcast, a podcast that you were on last night that I can't remember the name of, Liam Ryan. And I remember saying afterwards to Chris, like, that guy has an impressive American football mind. Like, what's he like to play under?
Yeah, I mean, training is just like I had to learn the QB position this year because I was a wide receiver last year, and it's just been like so easy. It's probably been much easier learning from him than it would have been from anyone else, because he knows the pitch from both sides. Like, he played free safety and quarterback, so he knows the game, the ins and outs, and it is really good to be playing under him because of his knowledge and because of his experience. And like, if you have any questions, you can ask him, and he'll 99% be able to answer them. And even if we're struggling on game day, if he's there on the sideline, like, he'll tell you what he sees, and we can change like that just because he knows how to attack and he sees everything. So it is a blessing.
Fair.
Just going to jump in there for a second. Friend of the show, AFI Redesign, has a question for you both. How many times did you watch his game of the week between the Crusaders and the Rhinos?
Not a single time. I don't know what the game of the week on video was, to be honest, which I didn't even know there was one up there.
Oh,
He is heartbroken. He is typing his emotions currently.
Now he is going for the Vikings.
yeah.
He's writing you down on a list.
I found the Rhinos message. It's from the Rhinos Instagram account. After we put up the 35-0 playoff game, it was just like, that hurt. They outplayed us. Their D line isn't seeing.
Yeah, sure. On that note of the D line, I think going into this game, it is very much going to be a battle of the trenches. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say our D line's exceptional. Maybe you would argue yours is better, Finn. I don't know. But I do just think it's going to be a case of O-line versus D-line. Whoever's O-line wins is going to win the game. But that is just my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong. It could be a completely different game altogether.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. Not at all.
The cards to the chest here is ridiculous.
I'm waiting for Finn. I'm waiting for Finn to start bombing 80-yard passes like a prime Aaron Rodgers, just absolutely laying them out in the air, and he's been hiding it all season. I'm waiting for that. That's what I want to see.
Also,
Well, as
just
long as
fucking
in the backfield can make their tackles, you should be good.
That's it. That's it.
I have a bone to pick with you, Brendan, by the way.
Oh, what did I do? I am a bad man. If I said something on social media, I apologize.
No. I'm going to count back to the Mavs versus Jets at home. On kickoff.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You ran past me, and like it was some sort of like, can't touch this. You screamed at me.
I think I just said goodbye. I just said goodbye, man, as I was running past.
Yes.
I think that's worse.
It is, and I instantly went fucking furious. Absolutely furious. It was just like as you went past.
Yeah, it sounds like me. Yeah, I have a big mouth on the pitch. All right.
Oh no, it was you. I knew.
Oh no, it definitely was. Yeah.
You're on my wall of people who have wronged me.
Chris, you said you were furious. Did you run after Brendan, or what was your reaction? Were you just
what did you
furious? Oh, that Brendan.
Let's see. I'll not say exactly what I said, but it started off with "Get back here, ye little."
And did he?
No. Listen, I'm an overweight man that's 30s playing offensive line. Why you have me out on the side with the fast boys?
Yeah, one jerk and they're gone. Like,
it's like two like these whippets to run at me. I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I can do nothing.
Sure, look, I had to get you back for the old gold medal you have and the silver one I have. Have to get back at you any way we could. That's why we put up the score. We would have been happy to just take a 3-point victory, only for that bowl game.
Yes, that was the reason. We felt bad, so we let you have that.
Oh yeah, good one. I played to you.
I would have hated if you just kicked a goddamn field goal in the first quarter and held that score.
I wouldn't have. I would not.
Worse.
I would not
that would
have
been crap. I'd rather go beat 58 now.
No, 12-man field goal.
The 12-man. No comment.
Just, Finn, just watch out for that. Just make sure you count how many players they have on.
When we were in Dundalk, every snap we were like just counting the players, making sure.
So we'll start with yourself. And how are you preparing? What's the feeling in the camp like? Going in, I said 11 days away. You don't want history to repeat itself. What are you guys doing differently that you can say in the build up to this game?
We're not doing too much. I think we're taking it like don't change anything, because if it isn't broken, don't fix it. So we're going in. It's just it's another game. It's not another game, but it is another game. So we're preparing like we're, everybody's watching the film, everybody's training. We know our plays, we know what we want to do. So just taking it like one step at a time, one day at a time, and doing nothing different because.
We've lost him. He's frozen.
Oh, good. Okay, it was just, I thought it was me because I moved my head and no one moved. I was like, shit.
Hopefully he freezes like this in the game. It'd be nice and easy to tackle him,
He's too ice cold.
Sack. While we're waiting on Finn to come back, Brendan, what are you doing apart from trying to get the bus fare to Limerick?
Yeah, apart from trying to get the bus fare, we're really just sticking to the same old thing we've been doing all season, getting ready in that same way, training 3 times a week and just trying to iron out any crinkles we can. I'm sure we'll be preparing specifically for the Vikings when we get out on the pitch on Thursday for our training, or even tomorrow. It's Thursday, Jesus. But yeah, apart from that, it's really just going to be much of the same thing that we've done all season. I mean, it's worked so far, so why give up now? You know what I mean? Although, mind you could say that about last season, and we all know how that went.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Right. In fairness to you, you were like the most dead-on people that we've ever beaten.
Appreciate that. We try and be reasonable in defeat, but sometimes it's difficult when the emotions run high. But to be honest with you, on that day, you were the way better team. You prepared better. You knew how we were going to play the game, and you stopped us from doing it. You also got momentum by getting that first play of the game. That trick play killed us. Can we swap this around so I'm not on that?
Yeah.
That's it. I'll let Finn give his answer. Sorry.
Well, I don't know where I cut out. I think my family just turned off the Wi-Fi.
You cut out from the start, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, no, you said you're not doing anything differently, and then you froze.
Basically, yeah, just we're not doing anything different. We're watching our film. We're training away as we have been, and taking it one day at a time. That's all I really need to say. We're just not treating it. We're not giving in to the day it is. We're just treating it as another game.
Yeah, that's fair. Yes. That's fair. And it's home field advantage, of course.
Yeah.
They don't have to, fundraise to get a bus.
Well, you've got
yeah, so the students they get discount.
Here's the thing. You've got 3 people here that would pay for a seat on the bus.
Oh well, you'd have to talk to the main man, Alex, about that.
I tried.
We are.
I was going to say I am involved in none of the politics.
I mean, it might as well be an away day for us too, because I'm down in Skibbereen and we have fellas in Mayo, so like we have fellas all over the country with since we're at college, so it's and a half away day.
Oh no! Did we lose him?
No, I
he's there.
Think he's there.
We lost the end of the answer, but he is there.
Oh, he is there. Dave, do you have any questions?
We're an hour and 43 minutes into this. Predictions?
I know, which is why I'm asking. Yes, predictions.
Yeah, it's predictions.
We're an hour and 43. Yeah.
I'm fighting a migraine here. I can barely see my
We'll quick fire this. We'll start with yourself, Finn, before your network falls out again. D1 Bull, who you got?
I think I'm gonna have to take the Vikings. Just about.
Brave choice.
Yeah.
Brave choice.
I think it's gonna be a tight one. I think it's gonna be 40-0. Just edge it out. About.
Fair.
And yourself, Brendan?
It's a hard one, but I'm gonna have to go Mavericks. Yeah. I couldn't tell you a score. Just Mavericks.
Mavs for Sam.
Mavs for Sam.
Mavs
Let's
for
go,
Sam.
baby.
And then shifting down to, well, your home ground, Brenton. D2 Bowl, Eagles and Giants. What way do you see that one going?
Has to go Eagles way. I can't see it going any other way. I remember playing the Eagles, I'd say, Jesus, my first year, so about 5 years ago. And even back then, they ran a smooth team, and it's your boy Clappett is in charge of them again. So I can't see them losing that game. I see them winning that and going up to Division 1, and then getting a bit of competition into them will be good.
Yeah. What about yourself, Finn? Do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I agree. The Eagles, it has to be. I mean, I've had my comments already. Just Eagles.
And jumping up into the SBC playoffs, we'll start with yourself, Finn. Rebels at home, the Trojans.
Yeah, I mean, the Rebels are just storming the league. I can't see anybody stopping them. David King was saying there that, like, he says that they're after getting way better from last year, and last year they had a stellar year. So it's just like, whether it's us or the Mavericks go up next year, they're going to be a scary sight, especially when all their rookies have another year on them. So it's got to be Rebels.
Brendan, you in agreement with your?
No, Trojan Nation. No, I'm joking. Yeah, Rebels have got to win. Rebels will definitely win this game. And the crazy thing about the Rebels actually is Ty Henry came down to 3 flag sessions, I want to say, with us before he was ever involved with the Rebels. So, you know, we had him first, just so they know that. But yeah, can't see it going any other way but the Rebels. No, we didn't let him go. He walked.
Listen. After 1,000 years of football in Dundalk, you make some mistakes along the way.
You should have offered them a contract.
Oh, we should have. We really should have.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I'd take Nate over him any day of the week.
Yeah, Nate is the new Ty.
That's it.
And then off to Cork with the Admirals and UCD. We'll start with you, Brenton. What do you think?
I think this is going to be very similar to our game against the Vikings. I think it's just could go either way. So I'd hazard a guess at the Admirals taking it, but then I hear UCD have some players back. So, I mean, I'll go Admirals for now, but honestly, it could change.
And Finn, would you agree?
I think UCD have it. I think they're heating up, and they're going to be coming into this game hot. And they've, both sides have a good coaching staff, but I think the talent pool in Dublin is just so huge, and it's split between what seems like the Rebels and UCD. So I think UCD will just have the talent to kind of overthrow whatever the Admirals throw at them and pull out the win.
Yeah, because you would have played UCD in the varsities, in the pre-season varsity stuff.
Yeah,
so you know firsthand.
Throw that in.
Yeah. That's what's built up to.
It was their B team, but yeah. It's crazy to think that they told us that sometimes they have to cut players, which is just like bizarre to think about.
Any chance they'll send them our way,
Imagine having the luxury in Ireland to just be like, nah.
I like your hustle. That's why it's so hard to cut you.
Disclaimer though, can we pull up the allegedly, because it's just a rumor that I heard. I don't know if it's
okay.
Usually allegedly cuts things.
Allegedly disclaimer.
Right, well, we'll let you guys go because we've nearly been doing this for 2 hours, and fair play to anyone who stayed on for this long. Fair play.
Someone has. I'd say us 5. Someone has.
14 people now, apparently. 14 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But guys, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for being so patient. Thank you for waiting in the waiting room for so long. And we will hopefully see you guys at the bowl. But if not, we wish you both the best of luck.
Thanks for having us.
Aye, Finn, best of luck, man. I'll see you Sunday
You
next
too.
week. Hopefully a good competition, and hopefully you won't juke me out of my shoes again, yeah? All right. See you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, guys.
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
This was a great idea, and I think we're going to suffer tomorrow.
Do you want to know
Yes,
something? I have enjoyed it.
It's been really
It's
good.
been long-winded,
It's
and I'm
been
sure a lot of
really
people are
good.
bored, but I have enjoyed it. But I am fighting a migraine. I can barely see my phone screen.
Yeah, will we
fine,
do our
too.
predictions or will we just call it?
Nah, fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it.
That's it. Right, quick fire. No more fucking Chris's 5-minute talking bullshit about each game. Right, Dave, Chrissy, then me. Dave, Rebels, Trojans.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with what Matt said from the Eagles. If the Trojans can come there and be competitive, it's a big win for them, but the Rebels will win overall.
Okay, so one for the Rebels. Chrissy?
Rebels.
Okay, I'm gonna go Trojans. So, like, I can't not have another upset. I need an upset somewhere.
I do think the Trojans will put points on the board, but I do think the Rebels are still going to kind of go in bulldozer mode.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's Big T's not done yet. Mark my words. Down to Cork, Admirals and UCD. Take it away, Dave.
I'm going UCD based on, agreeing with what Finn said. UCD are starting to heat up. When they're starting to heat up, they can fucking play. So I'm going UCD.
Also, just before you go on, Chrissy, I just want to address something here.
I know, I just saw that pop up.
Aiden.
The season's been an upset.
Aiden, come on, man.
Yeah,
I know everyone's a bit loopy after 2 hours, but come on. Yes, Chrissy.
Panthers,
Admirals,
Trojans.
Selfishly, I want UCD to win, mainly because if they do, then I don't have to remake the graphic for the Shamrock Bowl. So I really hope UCD win. Because I don't want to have to spend another 2 hours fixing it.
and that graphic is just sweet. That graphic
I want to post it so bad.
No, I'm going to disagree with you both. I'm going to go for Admirals. Cork, home field advantage in a bowl, winning a bowl in Cork. Like, it's just too good to be. This is too good not to happen.
Cool.
And now D2 Bull, Dave.
It's got to be the Wexford Eagles, even with the Giants' new boys. Wexford Eagles all day.
Yes.
I will be going Eagles as well.
Yeah, that's a clean sweep. It just has to be the Eagles. They've been unchallenged.
Aiden's asking what game was an upset, and I'm putting the Admirals beating UCD at the start of the year. Was an upset.
Yep. The Panthers shutting out the Knights. Would have been another one. The Jets.
Entire season. It wasn't so much that there is any game that was an upset. We were just upset after.
Yes, I mean, I've been perpetually upset.
I mean, the Panthers beating the Trojans was an upset. Like, I know that it was suspect, but it was still an upset regardless.
Yeah.
Might not be official.
This silence from like the crowd.
I swear, I've never heard anything like it.
Oh my god!
When he went game over, I was like, Is it game over? Why is no one talking?
Shocking. And last but not least, the D1 Bowl. You got Mavs, you got Vikings, Dave.
I love the Mavs, and I would love to be on a bus with the Mavs, and I would love a Mavs shirt. 2XL with McLaughlin and 79 on the back. But you really can't look past the Vikings putting 35 on the Rhinos, and then the Mavs struggling a bit against the Crusaders. So I think Vikings are going to take it. But I love you, Mavs, forever.
I'm on the same wavelength with Dave, like because of the scores. Like being down and watching that match from the Mavs and the Crusaders, like there was things that just weren't clicking for the Mavs that game. And yes, Brendan said, it was a different Crusaders team that they faced, but I do think the Vikings are going to go in with, I think, a bigger chip on their shoulder. And I don't know if the Mavs can iron out those finer details that weren't working in time, just with what I saw on the sideline.
Yeah, like if you were to sit and ask me, what team do you think would do better in the Premiership? I would say the Vikings.
Yeah.
Because like the Mavs don't have the numbers, but fuck me, they're going to tear it up in Limerick. They are just going to tear it up in Limerick. So they are. We never personally got to play the Vikings because we didn't have enough players. But the Vikings have just, or not the Vikings, sorry, the Mavs have just shook this division up, coming in as runners up from D2 and just making just this massive offensive name for themselves. And yes, they have waned a little bit, but no, you can't rule out any team in a bowl game. I mean, look at the Jets last season. Our last game before the bowl was getting absolutely spanked by the Mavs. So it was. So no, Mavs for Sam. I said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it on the day. Mavs for Sam.
Fair. Yeah, you have to back them there.
Yep, have to. And with that, guys, at 1 minute 50 or 1 hour and 57 minutes,
1 minute
we are going to call.
57.
Yeah, 1 minute. We're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe if you want to see more of this. And as always, we'll be bringing score updates over the weekend. We haven't had the two longest shows we've done is from we went out on our own. Like, clearly we need someone to keep time.
We're just having
I tried last time. Okay,
There's 11 people watching, and I know I'm one of them because I have it on here. But the other, how many, 8 or so left, have been there since the start. And I know they have. They haven't just clicked halfway through. They've been there from the start. So thank you so much.
13.
I'm seeing 12. Yeah, but it's 13 on YouTube.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll be bringing you scores this weekend. But for now, it's goodbye from myself. I'm not doing the goodbye from everyone else. Everyone just wait.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.